Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering, interstate transportation. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused and coerced victims to fulfill his desires, protect his reputation, and conceal.
Sweetheart, the moment you've all been waiting for is finally here. Finally, Diddy was taken into custody on September 16th, evening in New York, and accused of several offenses, including slanderous conspiracy, deception, or coercion, among others. But you'll be surprised to learn what supposedly he has to cope with more than just his arrest as a result of Kim Porter's relatives supposedly officially on his neck as well. And it's said that his son Quincy is likewise will work with the federal government to combat his father. My goodness, Diddy has no way of getting out of this one. He's done, just as I said, after being detained in Manhattan Rough 6 Diddy. Months following a raid by federal authorities his opulent Los Angeles residences, and the storyline developed with Miami and Love. In court documents, prosecutors stated that they had conducted almost 50 interviews and witnesses, as well as anticipate the number to. They said that they would cultivate and use travel and billing records related to finances, communications, electronic data, and videos showing how bizarre Diddy was basically using hosting to support their claims. Predicted on the case, the attorneys are gaining a conviction for each accusation would need a minimum of 15 years in a jail sentence, carrying a life sentence. Freddy's, but obviously knowing Diddy, he intended to combat this, and he genuinely entered a not guilty plea and even desired bail. So I obtained the specifics of the letter requesting Diddy's defense release and the specified bail amount. The defense suggested a few things, with the $50 million bond. According to the letter from Diddy's sister and mother of both his eldest child and her 3 grown sons consented to be co-signers in accordance with the plan. That each bundle revealed Diddy's journey would only apply to New York and Florida, to go to court with his counselor, and show up for appointments at the doctor. And furthermore, it said that Diddy and his kids had already given up their travel documents to his counsel after the raids in his Los Angeles and Miami attributes. But after a back and forth between the defense and the judge, and prosecutors rejected Diddy's bail request, which simply implies that he'll stay under observation and be booked into prison. When he's waiting to be tried for reports, Diddy is holding himself in the unique dwelling unit within the Metropolitan Correctional Facility, Brooklyn, until his subsequent court date. The unique home unit is situated alone from the overall jail population, and it's utilized to accommodate prisoners in need of extra defense. In addition to reasons, honey, this arrest has also discovered a few more Diddy information, making matters worse. For example, Diddy's shocking 14-page unsealed indictment, and within it, he is charged with horrific offenses in the disclosed on a grand jury indictment. Federal agents reported on September 17th, discovering not just 1,000 baby bottles, not only 3 AR-15s at Diddy's, but oil homes in Los Angeles and Miami. Before I even go any farther, can you imagine that 1,000 infant bottles were discovered? Did the oil kid have to be tapped? In conversation with Johnson & Johnson CEO and brother was presumably filling trucks of baby oil sent to his home each month, as though he was personally maintaining Johnson & Johnson in the industry, because of baby oil bottles are crazy. But these things allegedly belong to a bigger procedure involving the freaks of Diddy, where it was said that he hosted Wild Fuel. The indictment also describes the parties' use of these materials in ostentatious events such as managed extra substances, linens, and illumination. Further describes in detail how he forced ladies and everyone in his vicinity to satisfy his needs and safeguard his reputation and hide his behavior. He's also charged with embezzling staff funds and clout to expand his company empire, and, in the end, a transgressor enterprise in which he participated in several of offenses, including forced labor bribes, obstruction of justice, and arson. It also mentions how several times starting, if not before, in 2009 and going on for years, Diddy was mistreated by women, among other things, boasting, hurling things at them, and furthermore, The indictment continued to claim Diddy enticed ladies to enter under the false pretense of a partnership and compelled them to take part in freak shows with physical, as well as other kinds of power. Additionally, freak-offs were defined as intricate and generated personal performances that Diddy is said to have planned, focused mass throughout, and frequently captured with modern means. And it mentions how Diddy employees often reserved lodgings and furnished them baby oil lubricant sheets in advance and more lights. Evidently the freak. Days might pass between cutoffs, and Diddy, along with the other parties concerned, would frequently have IV fluids to heal guessing from whatever they were using. Even with all that has transpired, what upward Diddy continues to insist that he is innocent, and Mark Aguilio, his attorney, has questioned the prosecution's claim that they unfairly claiming that he is a flawed individual. Nonetheless, to this credit, is not criminal. Mr. Combs has only ever been helpful with this inquiry, and he moved willingly to New York City last week in advance of these fees. Please wait to judge till you possess all the information. These are the actual circumstances of a blameless man with nothing to conceal, and he anticipates getting his identify in court. I'm not certain that innocent apt term to employ in this instance, but Diddy and his attorney maintains his innocence. When we were at a press conference, William and Damon, solicitors, stated that Diddy and the others are not over for them. The inquiry is underway, and he asked those with more details to step onwards.
We are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly. Anyone with information can call 1-877-4-HSI-TIP. I want to express my deep appreciation for the victims and witnesses who have used their voices and helped.
Once more, I'm not sure how Diddy's legal team will handle this, but I'm eager to watch how everything turns out. Progress is purportedly if there's a youngster who is apparently finished with all of this is Quincy. I've even witnessed reports suggesting he might be able to work with the federal government or is already collaborating with them. In addition, Albee, Quincy's biological father, and Shore has allegedly been investing in much time spent together. The two allegedly caused their tension to connection underlying them and are drawing nearer, and sources revealed that Albee Shore and the Quincy Brown family, whether his father and the late Kim Porter, have been conversing more and taking the necessary actions replenish the time they lost during their even lately, they were estranged. Seen together for the White House visitation, an event that is now being claimed at this point, but some reports claim that Quincy revealed to the feds how Diddy actually handled behind the scenes with Kim Porter. Quincy is among them. Among the few observers of what his mother experienced with Diddy, and ever since Diddy is being hammered by the feds with RICO. Need proof for everything. Even the women Diddy has been with connected to recall even earlier Diddy's apprehension. ALB made several allusions. For example, to his mistrust of Diddy at one point. Hal recalled that the instant he learned Kim had been declared deceased in writing, I recently discovered. I discovered this film this morning at Lady Caves, also known as #Kim Porter, passing, and now it tore my soul apart. Corporeal form, which I am well aware of. That Kimberly didn't merely browse abruptly due to pneumonia. That's a little BS actually. This is how I enter. A problem. Albee did in fact tag Diddy in the message to ensure Diddy noticed how he believes he was in charge, adding, we honored our son at the New Deal in Quincy and Netflix's Christmas special, and she was a tremendous assistance, as well as laughing at Diddy's mutual and seeing myself. Exchange when I go to the theater, keep it here for a later time. And Al said in November 2021 that in the prior to Kim's passing, she was fleeing from a person or object, and that when he instructed her to contact the FBI not long after posting the article, Albee changed the caption's final section and eliminated all reference to the FBI and mentioned Kim's marathon racing. But supporters recognized who he was already. Attempting to clarify in March, he implied in 2024 that Diddy had a part in his 2022 car, and he added that he was engaged in a documentary project that will take the world by surprise.
The Albee Shore life story. So So hold on to your britches, and you'll really understand how I ended up in a coma. You're really gonna need to call Homeland Security.
That same month, after Homeland Security raided Diddy's homes, Baybee urged Quincy to come home while captioning a throwback photo alongside Quincy's letter to my son. "Come home, the door is wide open, you're safe here, son. I love you, Pops, you're biological, okay?" I know that Quincy previously wrote an open letter, scolding Baybee for not being in his life growing up, and even questioned the importance of a biological relationship. Part of his open letter read, "As far as my biological father goes, the spitting image is all I have taken from him throughout my life. I've always wondered about him, where he was, what was he doing? And most importantly, was he even thinking about me? The absence of my father has given me a better understanding of what type of man I am going to be. I am grateful for my mom's love, support, guidance, and for her strength. But with all these receipts that are coming to light against his father, especially about Quincy is now not just willing to work with Baybee, but with other members of Kim's family. Plus, there were actually reports not so long ago that Kim's family was seeking legal advice and was in pursuit of hitting Diddy with a lawsuit for wrongful death because they had physical evidence to support their case. Reportedly, with Diddy's arrest, Kim's family is more confident that they will also get justice for Kim. I mean, they are already aware of the speculations that, contrary to what was reported, Kim was not found unresponsive in her bed, but she was discovered on the bathroom floor. And if they found her in her bed, then she was strategically placed there. In fact, the original coroner who conducted the first autopsy on Kim's suspected foul play with the amount of a certain toxin that was found in her system, but he was allegedly fired and replaced by another coroner who ruled her death as lobar pneumonia. And what I find really weird is that this coroner took 2 weeks to conclude that Kim died of pneumonia. And as soon as people started questioning Kim's death, a while back, the first coroner passed on something else. Is that Kim's last call was reportedly at 2:43 a.m., but she was found later that morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Now there have been a bunch of other things that have come up about Kim since Cassie filed her lawsuit, and Kim's family is reportedly banking on law enforcement to bring all this to light. Well, there could be hope after all, because when U.S. Attorney Damian Williams was asked about how many other people may have been affected, he clearly said that they are working on getting justice for all the affected, and that possibly includes Kim. So far, the number of people interviewed and questioned is 50, and the prosecutors have said that that number is likely to grow.
The investigation is ongoing. We are committed to bringing justice to everyone who's been victimized by the defendant. I can't tell you why it took so long. I think the better focus is on the fact that we are here today. And we are committed to making sure that justice...
I'm just dying to know your thoughts on how all of this has unfolded. Is it finally the end for Diddy? Do you really believe that Quincy could be working with the feds? And do you also believe that Kim will also finally get the justice she deserves? Sound off in the comments section below.